Welcome to class with True Earth Yoga. My name is Rachel, and this class is an intermediate advanced class for calming your brain. Some things that will be helpful today to have, of course, is a comfy sweater, socks, and a blanket for Shavasana. I'm sitting on a block right now, and a block will be helpful today for some standing poses we're doing. If you don't have a block, you could use a book or maybe a piece of furniture if you have a chair handy near you. I'll show you that while we get through the practice. And then a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a pair of sweatpants, a rolled blanket, or of course the invisible strap to help bring your head closer to your foot in some forward folds. So this class creates a nice langhana energy, and langhana is the energy within us that slows and calms us. So the asana, the physical movements in yoga, the pranayama, the breath, and the meditation practice that we'll do today are all geared toward calming. This is a very balance-driven class, so you'll notice that with our apex pose, ardha chandrasana, or half moon pose. Begin in sukhasana, or an easy seated position. I like to sit up on a block or up on a pillow. Takes a little pressure off of the knees. Bring your hands to wherever is comfortable on your lap. Gently tuck your chin and close your eyes. Bring yourself to your space today. Notice the sounds and the feelings around you. And begin to notice the sounds and feelings within yourself. How does your body feel today? How does your mind feel? How does your breath feel today? Focus on your breath, noticing your inhales and your exhales. Begin to count your inhales and count your exhales and notice how long each one lasts. For your practice today, you will be using a 1-to-2 breath ratio so that your exhale is twice as long as your inhale. So if your inhale is 3, your exhale is 6. If your inhale is 4, your exhale is 8. If your inhale is 1, your exhale is 2, and so on. Move to a 1-to-2 breath ratio that's comfortable in your body today. On your next exhale, begin to tuck your chin toward your chest. And when you inhale, bring your head back to center. On your longer exhale, tuck your chin toward your chest. When you inhale, back toward center. Exhale your chin toward your chest and let it rest there. When you inhale, roll your left ear toward your left shoulder. And when you exhale, come back toward center. Inhale your right ear toward your right shoulder. And exhale back toward center. Inhale your left ear toward your left shoulder. Exhale to center. Inhale your right ear toward your right shoulder. Exhale to center. And now when you inhale, bring your head all the way around in a circle. And exhale as you come forward. Inhale as you rotate your head and neck backward. Exhale as it comes forward. Do one more and then switch sides. Inhaling back and exhaling forward. Inhale as the right ear goes toward your right shoulder and around, and exhale as it comes forward. Inhaling around and exhaling forward. One more. Inhale back and exhale forward. And meet with your chin tucked toward your chest. When you inhale, slowly allow your head to rise. You can gently blink your eyes open. Come up off of your seat and move to a tabletop position on your hands and knees. And notice how your body feels here now. Reconnect with your 1 to 2 breath if you've lost it. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and send your hips back for a downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, it's less important to have straight legs and more important to have a straight upper body so that there's a straight line between your hands and your sit bones. You can feel yourself pressing through your upper back. Your shoulders are wide. And then if it's comfortable, you can straighten your legs. Pedal out your dog, rocking your left knee, then your right knee. Finding some kind movements here. When you inhale, lift your left leg and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your right leg and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your left leg, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your right leg, and on your exhale, lower. Look toward your hands. Begin to walk your feet toward your hands. Find an uttanasana or a forward fold. Breathe here and tuck your chin as you slowly roll up to stand. Rolling your shoulders back. Your head is the last to come up. For your sun salute in this class, we'll be doing sun salute C. Standing at the top of your mat, ground down through the bottoms of your feet. Follow your breath. When you inhale, raise your arms overhead, urdhva hastasana, upward salute. And when you exhale, forward fold. Step your right foot back and your knee comes down to a low lunge and inhale. On your exhale, step your left foot back to a plank and hold. Inhale, and on your exhale, bring your knees to the mat, your chin to the mat, and your chest to the mat for an inchworm. Inhale to a back bend, a little cobra here. Exhale, tuck your toes under, push back to a down dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward, bring your left knee down, and come to a low lunge here, inhaling into your chest. Step your left foot forward and exhale into a forward fold. Inhale back up to stand, urdhva hastasana, upward salute. Exhale your arms by your sides, tadasana. Inhale, urdhva hastasana, upward salute. Exhale, uttanasana, standing forward fold. Step your left foot back, your knee comes down, and inhale into a low lunge. On your exhale, send your right foot back, coming to a plank pose, and inhale here to prepare. On your exhale, go to the mat with your knees, then your chin, then your chest for an inchworm. Inhale to a baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips to a downward facing dog, and breathe here. Step your left foot forward, bring your right knee down, and inhale into a low lunge. Step your back foot forward, exhale uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale your arms overhead, urdhva hastasana. Exhale your arms by your sides, mountain pose or tadasana. One more on each side. Inhale overhead, exhale forward fold. Send your right foot back, your knee comes down, and inhale into your chest. Send your left foot back to a plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale as you bring your knees, then your chin, then your chest to the mat. And inhale to a baby cobra. Tuck your toes and send your hips back and exhale in your down dog. Step your right foot forward. Your left knee comes down and inhale into a low lunge. Step your left foot forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, arms by your sides. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Send your left foot back. Your knee comes down and inhale into a low lunge. Send your right foot back in a plank and exhale. Then inhale. Bring your knees, chin, and chest down to the mat. Inhale to a baby cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Your right knee comes down. Inhale into your low lunge. Step your back foot forward and exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Exhale your arms by your sides, Tadasana. Here, if you have a blanket, a block, or something firm, go ahead and put that toward the center of your mat. You can use one, you can use two, whatever height you need. Step your feet very wide. If you're on a yoga mat, come toward the long end of your mat, or come to somewhere in your space where you have lots of room. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a moment and reconnect with your 1 to 2 breath ratio. So your exhale is twice as long as your inhale. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. First coming halfway, so inhale, feel nice and tall. When you exhale, bend slightly forward. Inhale, back up tall. And on your exhale, bend forward. Inhale, feel yourself tall. And on this exhale, fold as far forward as is comfortable. Maybe your hands reach your props or the floor. Let your head hang. Might be comfortable to step your feet wider. And exhale and inhale. If you're using blocks or props, bring one over towards your left foot. Lock your hands. You might need to step your feet in a little so that your right hand comes to your block or prop, and you can adjust the height of your book or your block, whatever you have. This is Krishnamacharya Parivrita Trikonasana, or Krishnamacharya's revolved triangle. So keeping your wide-legged forward fold, plant your right hand on your prop, and your left hand can come to your hip as you slowly turn your upper body. And perhaps your left arm comes up to the sky. Perhaps it continues to rest. You can gaze upward toward your hand, down at the ground, or to the side, wherever is comfortable. And breathe. On your next exhale, come back, bringing your left arm down. Move your block back to center and find a wide-legged forward fold. Notice any difference between the left side and the right. Walk your block toward your right foot now so that your left hand can plant or rest on your block, your book, or the ground. Your right hand can rest on your hip. And begin to turn your upper body. If it's comfortable, you can continue twisting so that your right arm comes up toward the sky. Imagine yourself reaching an inch higher. Wherever it's comfortable to have your gaze. On your exhale, bring your arm down, untwist, and come back to center. And allow yourself to hang in this deep, wide-legged forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips. And on your next inhale, slowly come back up to stand. Step your feet together. Finding Urdhva Hastasana, when you inhale, lift your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, and flip your palms if this is comfortable. And stretch nice and tall here. Feel length coming through your shoulder to your elbow. And breathe. If this is not comfortable to do that flip in your body, you can interlace your fingers and hold them overhead so that your palms face your head, or you can leave your fingers open, your hands unlocked, upward. And breathe here. On your next exhale, allow your arms to come down by your sides, Tadasana, or mountain pose. And now turn and face one of the short ends of your mat or the short ends of your space. Here again, it can be helpful to use a block or blocks. Coming to Parsvottanasana, or pyramid pose. So begin with your feet together and step your right foot back. Your right foot can be pointing toward the front if that's comfortable, or slightly out, maybe at about a 45-degree angle. If it's comfortable, straighten your left leg. If you have blocks or props, you can have them set up on either side of your left foot or your left leg. Bring your hands to your hips. And to start this pose, inhale and feel tall. Focus on your hips pointing toward the front of your space. So rather than your hips going slightly one side or the other, see if you can bring them forward. Planting your hands on your hips and trying to keep your left leg, your front leg, straight. Inhale and feel tall, and exhale as you begin to fold forward. Inhale back up to stand. On your exhale, again begin to fold forward. Inhale back up to stand. And on this exhale, come to your version of Parsvottanasana. Perhaps you rest your hands on your leg, wherever is comfortable, avoiding your knee. Perhaps you continue resting your hands on your hips. Perhaps you grab your ankle or rest your hands on the floor. And breathe. Move one of your blocks about 6 inches in front of your left foot. You can scoot your other block or book out of the way. Coming to ardha chandrasana, or half moon pose. Your left hand can come up toward the block as you bend into your left leg. Begin to play around with the balance in your right leg, perhaps just picking your toe off the ground. You can adjust the placement of that front block as you slowly raise your right leg. This can be your pose. You can rest both hands down on a block or prop or chair, perhaps. You could also take this pose and begin to slowly rotate your hips and your chest open. I find it helpful to push into my back foot as though there's a wall behind, and you can do this with a wall behind you, pressing your foot against it or pressing your back side of your body against the wall. Your right arm can rest on your hip, or it can begin to grow toward the sky. You can shift your gaze upward. You can keep your gaze at the ground. Perhaps you play around with not holding a block. And if you fall, give yourself grace and find your version of the balance pose. Some days I'm able to jump right into this pose, and some days it requires a little more concentration. Wherever you are in your ardha chandrasana, on your exhale, begin to come toward the center, bringing your right leg to meet your left leg, and find a standing forward fold. When you inhale, slowly come back up to stand. Shifting your body toward the other side of your mat, bringing your blocks this way. Step your left foot back. Again, keeping a straight right leg. Your left leg can be out at about a 45-degree angle or pointed forward. You can use your blocks on either side of your foot or your leg. Begin by resting your hands on your hips. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Inhale as you stand and exhale as you begin to fold forward. Inhale back to stand. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale back to stand. And on this exhale, come to your version of Parsvottanasana. Perhaps resting your hand on your leg, avoiding your knee. No unnecessary pressure on your knee. Bringing your hands to blocks or books or resting on your leg. And breathe. Go ahead and place a prop, if you're using it, about 6 inches to a foot in front of your right leg. Coming to your version of ardha chandrasana. So perhaps you're playing around with your balance and just gently lifting your left toes off the ground while holding on to your prop. Maybe you can do that with just your right hand on your prop, the ground, a chair. Perhaps you move into ardha chandrasana if this is in your practice, allowing yourself grace. And breathe. Though this is a challenging balance pose, it brings that langhana or calming energy to your body. On your exhale, bring yourself back to center so that your left leg meets your right. Go ahead and wiggle out your legs a little and come to a ragdoll pose, or a different variation of Uttanasana, standing forward fold. So when you exhale, fold forward and grab your elbows with your opposite hands and begin to fold forward. You can rock, allowing yourself to fold. You can have a really deep bend in your knees. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Continue to breathe. You can release your hands and come onto your mat, onto your stomach. So I'm going to turn around. And you can lay first with your arms in front of you and just rest your head on your arms. This is a crocodile pose. Bring your hands so that your palms are touching the ground. Your shoulders are just outside of your chest. And we're going to come to a cobra pose. So when you inhale, feel yourself lift up a slight bend in your back. You can exhale and lower. Inhale and come up. Exhale and lower. Perhaps play around with where you hold your hands, bringing them closer to your chest, farther back. Inhale and rise up. Exhale and lower. On your next inhale, go ahead and hold your version of cobra pose. You can work on straightening your arms, keeping them bent, or resting your elbows on the ground. And breathe. When you exhale, next, slowly lower yourself down onto the mat and roll onto your back. Coming to to Setu Bandhasana or bridge pose, you can place a block under your sit bones or a pillow or a rolled blanket if you'd like. Plant your palms down by your hips or by your sides. And when you inhale, allow your hips to rise. When you exhale, they lower. Inhale, your hips rise. Exhale, lower. You can add your arms into this, so when you inhale, your arms go overhead as well. Exhale, your arms lower by your sides. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. And on your exhale, lower, and rest on this exhale with your hips down. If you're on your menstrual cycle, you can continue resting with your hips down. And otherwise, on your next inhale, allow your hips to rise. Perhaps move your prop out of the way. You can work to shimmy your arms underneath, interlacing your fingers. Perhaps you use your arms to support you under your hips, or continue resting with your arms by your sides in your bridge pose. On your next exhale, allow your hips to come down to the mat. If you were using a prop, you can scoot it to the side. Remaining on your back, go ahead and scoot your hips about an inch to the left. When you inhale, bring your knees up to the center. When you exhale, allow your knees to fall to the right. Your arms can come to a cactus or a goalpost, or perhaps out like a T. And you can shift your gaze the next inhale, let your knees come back to center and scoot your hips back to center. Now scoot your hips about an inch to the right, bringing your arms to goalpost or T arms. And on your next exhale, allow your legs, your knees to fall to the left. And your gaze can go over your right hand. It's important to do twists in yoga after you do back bends rather than jumping right into forward folds. On your next inhale, bring your knees back to center and slowly make your way up to a seat. Here's where you can use your strap, blanket, or imaginary strap around the balls of your feet as you straighten your legs out in front of you so they're straight or straight-ish. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. When you inhale, feel tall. As you exhale, you can begin to fold forward. Inhale, feel tall. On your exhale, fold forward and continue with this motion. And if you can, focus on having a straight spine or straight-ish. Rather than rounding to try to get your head closer to your knees, keep your chest open as you come forward. On your next exhale, fold into your version of Paschimottanasana. Perhaps you rest your hands by your thighs, on your calves, or grab your ankles or your feet. And continue to breathe. On your next inhale, you can come up to a seat. Moving to Paripurnavasana, or boat pose. So go ahead and scoot your seat a little bit up. Plant your feet a bit away from your sit bones. You can plant your hands behind you. This is a version of boat pose. So you can find a spot where it feels comfortable to have your back a little bit leaned away. Or you can inhale, your legs rise up. Here's a version of your boat pose. Have your arms out by your sides. And inhale and exhale here. Perhaps play around with how high or low you'd like your boat to be. And continue breathing. Go ahead and plant your feet. Lie down. Sending your legs long. For Apanasana, knees to chest, bring your left leg in. Hug it toward your chest. Toward your left armpit. Toward your right armpit and back to the center. Send your left leg long and hug your right leg in toward the center. Toward your right arm. Toward your left armpit and back towards center. Send your right leg long and bring both legs in. Hug them towards your chest. You can bring your chin in. Maybe rock back and forth or side to side. Sending your legs long and getting ready for Shavasana. You can grab your socks, your sweater, blanket. Even if you feel warm from your movement practice, putting on some warmer or cozier clothes will keep you from being distracted by any changes in temperature. You can release your 1 to 2 breath. Allow your breath to flow through you. Get any last minute wiggles so you can come to steadiness and ease, Sthira and Sukha, and rest in your Shavasana. In your Shavasana, you're going to take a journey to your healing place, your happy place. Using all 5 senses, first, see the place that gives you the most healing, the most happiness. What do you see there? What are the colors? What is in your happy place? What do you hear in your healing place? What are the sounds that bring you the most healing, the most joy? Hear those sounds now. What can you touch in your healing place? Are there textures? What are those things that you can feel that bring you healing? Are there smells in your healing place? What are those smells that instantly bring you a sense of warmth and comfort? Remember those smells now. Perhaps there's tastes associated with those smells. Continue to allow yourself to experience your healing place with all 5 of your senses. And this healing and happy place is available to you whenever you need it. You can go there by using your senses, closing your eyes and experiencing your healing place. Bring one hand up to your nostrils and plug one nostril and breathe in and out. And if one is more open, roll to that side. If they're both open, you get to choose. Using your bicep as a pillow, gently tuck your knees and take in the last few moments of relaxation. In just a moment, not yet, you will move to a comfortable seat. Imagine now what that looks like. Will you sit on something? Will you stay covered in a blanket? And now, using as little energy as possible, move to that comfortable seat. And if you've opened your eyes, you can close them or cast your gaze downward. Rest your hands comfortably on your lap with your palms facing downward. And meditate on your breath. Concentrate on your breath. You don't need to tell your breath when to inhale and when to exhale. Just notice and watch your breath. If there are thoughts, distractions, or sensations in your body that take you away from your breath, notice them and allow them to flow out with your exhale. Continue to focus on your breath. Take a deep inhale, a deep exhale out your mouth. Again, a deep inhale and a long exhale out your mouth. You can gently blink your eyes open. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra or prayer hands at heart center and tuck your chin toward your hands, sealing in all the langhana, calming energy you've allowed yourself today. Remembering these practices and the energy that you created, know that you have the power to calm your brain at any time. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace.